Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Starting with the name of God, who is most merciful and gracious. In this video, I discuss a human skeleton system. In newborn baby, bones are 306, but when the body is adult, bones 306 fuse and form 206. A human skeleton system is the combination of bones, joints, and cartilage. Function of skeleton system: it play a vital role in the framework, support, and structure, protection, and movement. Thoracic cage provide protection in the heart, kidney, ribs, etc. Pelvic provide protection urethra, urinary bladder, formation of bones. Fibrous tissue involve 1 over 3% in the formation of bones. Mineral such as phosphate and calcium etc. involve 2% 3 in the formation of bones. Bones help in the attachment, blood cell production, white blood cell also known as leukocytes. White blood cell also called leukocyte. Platelets also called thrombus. Also called thrombus. Red blood cells also called erythrocyte. Erythrocytes. Bones involved in the attachment, blood cell production, white blood cell production in the bone marrow. In the bone marrow, types of bone: long bone such as femur and humerus, short bone such as carpal bone also known as wrist bone, tarsal bones, flat bones such as sternum, cranium, and sternum. Irregular bone such as vertebra. Types of skeleton: axial skeleton and appendical skeleton. Axial skeleton also known as spinal column. Axial skeleton consists 80 bones. Appendical skeleton consists 126 bones. Axial skeleton further consists skull, vertebral column, sternum, ribs. Skull consists 29 bones. Vertebral column consists 26 bones. Sternum consists 1 bones. Ribs consist 24 bones. Skull. We remember skull bones by this mnemonics: OTP, SEF. O से occipital, O से occipital. T से temporal, P से parietal, S से scaphoid, E से ethmoid, F से frontal, occipital 1 bone, temporal 2 bones or parietal 2 bones, scaphoid 1 bone and ethmoid 1 bones, and frontal also consists 1 bones. A human brain, also called dicondolic, means two occipital in the condylic. Two occipital in the condylic. A human brain, also called dicondylic, means two occipital in the condylic. Foramina means a hole in which nerves, arteries, and veins passes through. Fora means a hole in which arteries, veins, and nerve passes through. Nerve passes through. Facial bones consist 14 bones. We remember facial bone by this mnemonic: vein, please. V से vomer, V से vomer, A से auditory, ossicles, N से nasal, N से nasal, M से maxilla, फिर M से mandible, P से parietal, L से lacrimal और Z से zygomatic. V से vomer, A से advertical ossicles, I से inferior concha, N से nasal, M से mandible, M से maxilla, P से parietal, L से lacrimal और Z से zygomatic. Zygomatic bone also called cheek bone. Tears also produced by the lacrimal glands. Mobile bone is mandible. Mobile bone is known as mandible. Ear ossicles. Each ear has 3 ossicles. M से malleus, I से incus और S से stapes. Stapes is the smallest bone in human body. Malleus is the humber shaped bone. Hyoid bone is the only one bone above the larynx. Hyoid bone is the first bone which attach with muscle. Shape: C shape or U shape. Vertebral column consists 26 bones. We remember vertebral column by this mnemonic: can this little servant cooks? C से cervical, T से thoracic bone, L से lumbar और S से sacrum, C से coccygeal bone. Cervical 7, thoracic 12, lumbar 5, sacrum 1, coccygeal 1. Sacrum is formed by the fusion of 5 bones. Largest proximal row commonly fractured bone is known as scaphoid. Commonly dislocated bone known as lunate. Largest carpal bone is capitate. I again discuss skeleton system. In newborn baby, 306 bones, but in adult body, 306 bones fuse together and form 206 bones. Skeleton system is the combination of bones, joints, and cartilage. Function of skeleton system: it play vital role in body and also provide framework, support, structure, protection, and movement. Thoracic cage provide protection, heart, kidney, pelvic provide protection, urethra, unilateral formation of bone, fibrous tissue involved in the formation of bones 1 over 3%, minerals such as calcium, phosphorus 2 over 3%, bones help in the attachment of muscle, and also blood cell production in the bone marrow, white blood cell also called leukocytes, platelets also called thrombus, red blood cell also called erythrocyte. Types of bone. 4 type of bone. Long bone such as femur, humerus, short bone, carpal bone, and tarsal bone. Flat bone, sternum, cranium, and flat bone consists sternum, cranium, and sternum. Irregular bone, vertebra bone. Type of skeleton: axial skeleton and appendical skeleton. Axial skeleton further consists 80 bones and appendical skeleton consists 126 bones. Axial skeleton in which in skull 29 bones, vertebral column 26, sternum 1, ribs 24. Skull. We know skull bones by this mnemonics: OTP, SEF, occipital, temporal, parietal, ethmoid, frontal, and scaphoid. A human skull, also known as dicondylic, means two occipital in the condylic. Skull has flat bones. Skull has flat bone connected with suture. Base divided into 3 parts: interior, posterior, and middle fossa. Interior, posterior, and middle fossa play a vital role in the formation of cavity. Foramina, a hole in which arteries, nerves, veins passes through. Facial bones are 14. We remember facial bone by this mnemonics: vein please. Vomer 1 bone. Advertical ossicles 6. Maxilla 2. Inferior nasal concha 2. Mandible 1. Palatine 2. Lacrimal 2. Zygomatic, also known as cheekbone. Mobile bone is mandible. Air ossicles: Milles, Incus, Stapes. Milles bone is hammer-shaped type bones. Hyoid bone above the larynx, attached with the muscle, C or U shape. Vertebral column. We know vertebral column bones by these mnemonics: can this little servant cooks. C से cervical, T से thoracic bone, L से lumbar, S से sacrum और C से coccygeal bone. Sternum. First part is manubrium, coastal ridge, angle of Lewis 163. Transverse ridge. First part is sternum, second part is body, and third part of sternum is xiphoid process. Sternum angle parallel to T3 and T4. First rib attached with manubrium. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth ribs attached with body of the sternum. Sternal end of the sternum attach with the manubrium. Sternal end of the sternum attach with manubrium, and acromial end of the clavicle attach with joint of scapula. Joint of scapula. Sternal end of clavicle attached with manubrium. Acromial end of clavicle attached with joint of scapula. Two ribs, also known as sternal ribs. Sternal ribs. Two ribs, also known as sternal ribs. Two ribs consist 7 bones. Two ribs, also known as sternal ribs, they are 7 in numbers. They directly attach with sternum. Two ribs are directly attached with sternum. False ribs, 8, 9, 10 pairs of ribs, also called false ribs, and they also called candral ribs, also known as candral ribs. False ribs, also known as candral ribs, because and they are not directly attached, and they are not directly indirectly attached with sternum. False rib, also known as candral ribs, and they are indirectly attached with sternum. Floating ribs. 11th and 12th pair of ribs, also known as floating ribs, because they do not away to the body, because they do not attach to the body. Two ribs, also known as sternal ribs, they directly attach with sternum. False ribs, also known as candral ribs, and they are indirectly attached with sternum. Floating ribs, 11th and 12th pair are floating ribs, and also known as vertebra bones. Known as vertebra bones, because they do not attach the body. Superior surface of two ribs, round shape, and inferior surface of ribs are sharp. Superior surface of two ribs, round shape, and inferior surface of ribs sharp. Appendical skeleton consists 126 bones. Appendical skeleton consists 126 bones. Limbs consist 120 bones, and appendical skeleton divide into limbs and girdle. Limbs consist 120 bones and girdle consist 6 bone. Hand 60 bone, and legs also 60 bones. In hand humerus, 2 humerus, 2 radius, 2 ulna, 14 phalanges, and legs consist 2 leg consists 2 femur, 2 tibia, 2 fibula, 14 tarsal bones, 10 metatarsal bones, 14 phalanges bones. Even five carpal bones. Carpal bones. Humerus attach with scapula cavity like structure known as glenoid cavity. Glenoid cavity. Humerus humerus part of hand attached with scapula like structure known as glenoid cavity. Femur bone attached with coxal bone has cavity known as acetylbulum. Acetylbulum. Pectoral attach upper limb. Pectoral attach upper limb to the axial skeleton. In pectoral, four bones present, two clavicle and two scapula. Scapula bone. Scapula bone is also known as flat bone. Pelvic. In pelvic, two coxal bones present. Each is formed by the fusion of three bones. Ischium, pubis, ilium. In carpal bones, four proximal bones and four distal bones. In carpal bones, four proximal bones and four distal bones. Proximal bones, we remember proximal bones by this mnemonics. She looks too pretty. C is scaphoid, L से lunate, P से paciform, pretty, 2 से triquetrum. And for distal bone, we remember this distal bones by this mnemonics. Try to catch her. T से trapezium, T से triquetrum, C से capitate, S से hemate bones. This part of the bone is spongy bone. This part of bone is known as diaphysis. And this part of the bone is epiphysis. Bone also covered with a membrane known as periosteum. Periosteum bones. And this part of bone known as metaphysis. In human hands, 60 bones are present, and leg also 60 bones. Humerus, radius, ulna, phalanges, carpal and metacarpal. Carpal bones. Thank you for watching this video.